haven't made one of these videos in so long, I actually had to go back and rewatch my own old videos to figure out how I edited them. I couldn't remember if I recorded off my phone or if I recorded off my laptop, and I was just trying to visualize how this video would work. And that led me down a rabbit hole of like rewatching some of my old videos. I sat down to film an hour ago. And you know what I noticed? My voice has changed so much. I mean, it makes sense. I'm older now, but I feel like my old videos, I just sound so high-pitched and squeaky, whereas now my voice is a lot lower. Anyway, hi! If you don't know what we're doing today, I posted on the Bracelet Book forum that I'm filming this video, and a bunch of you guys commented under it, and I am going to look through your to-dos to get new bracelets to add to my own. Honestly, I am in desperate need of this because my bracelet to-dos have not been updated in a while, and I am on the hunt specifically for spring bracelets, but any bracelets. Honestly, I need inspiration both for tutorials and also just in general for bracelets to make. So join me as I look through your to-dos. First of all, thank you to everyone who commented under my forum post. It is so wonderful to see so many of you guys engaging and wanting for me to raid your to-dos. Obviously, I won't be able to go through everybody's, but I'll try to go through as many people's as I can, and hopefully we find some nice bracelets to add. I always like to start with the first person because they are the first person who commented. And also just heads up, I won't be linking any of the patterns. You see the pattern numbers as I scroll through them, so hopefully that should be enough for you to find them if you want to. This person has some nice patterns already, and some gorgeous bracelets in their photos. I actually think this person is also on my Discord server, which is linked in the description by the way, because I saw this picture and it was so gorgeous. I think I might make a tutorial for this bracelet at some point. But let's look at their to-dos. I already see some that I really do like. Honestly, Crazy Knots just makes amazing patterns. I'm adding this one. Whenever I'm in desperate need of patterns to make, I either go for Crazy Knots or for Soda Pop. They both have amazing patterns that always hit. I am just straight up adding all of these. This green one I actually made a tutorial for, and I think I made a tutorial for this one. I'm not sure. I'm at that point into my video making journey that I forget what videos I've made. And honestly, it gets to the point where it's ridiculous because occasionally I find a pattern and I'm like, this would make a good tutorial, and then I scroll down and my own video is there. I've already made a tutorial for it and I just forgot. Anyway, wow, this person has some gorgeous photos. That said, that's not what we're here for. Let's look at their to-dos. These are some beautiful alphas. Of course it's Soda Pop again. Do you know what? I actually might make this one. This is so beautiful. I feel like this would be a really gorgeous bookmark or something. Ooh, these are some nice alphas. I haven't made alphas in so long. I really need some inspiration in that department, so this is very good. I don't know why. I just haven't been. I mean, it's a galaxy cat. Do you expect me to not save it? Of course I'm gonna save that. I posted a collection update, and as I was looking through that, I saw all of my old bracelets and it got me really nostalgic, and I used to make a lot of cat bracelets, so I need to get back on that. I also love any kind of space and planetary related bracelets, so I'm taking that one too. All right, let's scroll down a little bit. Let's check out this person's to-dos. I've made a lot of these bracelets already. That's always so fun to see. Like, a lot of these. You know what? I never hopped onto the cow bracelet trend. That just kind of never happened for me. I don't know why. Do you guys want to see cow bracelets from me, or is that trend over? I feel like it might be, but also it's those kinds of trends that like never die, so let me know. Oh, this one is gorgeous. This one reminds me of the Starburst a little bit, but kind of a different variety of it. A tutorial for a mini Starburst might be coming at some point. Just letting you know. All right, this person says to raid their to-dos, and they also have some patterns that they've created, so let's look at those as well. By the way, I see a lot of you guys have friend requested me. I do not accept friend requests purely because there is no accept all button, and there's about 9,000 of them at the moment, and I can't click on every single one, so many apologies for that. I would love to be friends with all of you, but it's just not feasible. These are the patterns that this person created, and there's a lot of beautiful alphas in here. Do you know what? If I drank boba, I would definitely make that, but I don't drink boba. Okay, I need to make this. I mean, it's a cat. That's how you get me. But let's also look at their to-dos. Again, that's how you get me. I also recently watched this movie, which is Kiki's Delivery Service. Stefan and I watched it a few weeks ago and it was great. I'm seeing a theme with the Hayao Miyazaki films. I know a fellow cat lover when I see one. There's so many cat patterns here. All right, who is gonna be next? Let's go here. There's some nice patterns here. See, patterns like this, I respect. I think they look really beautiful. But you will not catch me making them. Like, you just won't. There's too many forward, backward, and backward, forward knots. It's just, I find it extremely tedious and annoying. You can't segment knot them very well, or at all, really. So it looks gorgeous, we'll never make it. I actually thought, and I've been thinking about for years at this point, of like filming a video where I challenge myself to make a 1-2-1-2 pattern, which is what those are called. But I just can't, I can't force myself to do that. It's torturous. I love the memes in here. Let's go to this person as well. I love the huge bio. Bracelets made in 2025 so far, 8. Well done. I actually haven't been keeping track of how many bracelets I've been making. That's probably more than me. I really haven't made that many bracelets this year. I've made a few this month, but not this year. I went through quite a long slump. Winter is not my best knotting season. These are some huge bracelets. This one uses 36 strings. That would take a while. I love this one. This is a great game, honestly. I should make this. I am saving a lot more alphas than I expected to. I thought that I was gonna go very much normal patterns for this one, but you guys have some great taste in alphas. Let's go here next. Another very long bio. My goodness, very long. Nice, I love musical related patterns. That first one is really nice. Ooh, this one is gorgeous. It does sometimes frustrate me a little bit with these kinds of patterns though, because this pattern is 15 by 69, which is fine, but 70 rows isn't enough for me. I calculated once. I think my bracelets, like the way that I make my knots, I need nearly 90 rows for it to be the length that I want, which is usually around like between 14 and 16 centimeters. I average around 15, which is pretty much like a length of a ruler. And 70 knots is just not enough for me. So I either have to modify the pattern and like add more knots to it myself, which I'm not that artistic, doesn't really work very well, or I just kind of have to deal with the fact that it's not long enough. I'm gonna try, see what happens there though. Wow, there is some genuinely amazing patterns here. This one is so cute, like the ears popping out. Imagine doing that. I wonder if anyone did. They have! Look at those ears! That is actually so cool. Honestly, I would do that, but I find shape bracelets to be a little bit annoying. I do have a tutorial for how to make it, and I can make them. They're just not my favorite to make. I see some patterns that I've already added here as well. You guys seem to have similar tastes. The Rainbow Hearts bracelet, I have a tutorial for that. That one's one of my favorites, actually. I really love that design. Let's go to this person. I haven't even scrolled to see show all, and I already see patterns that I want. I haven't made a wall hanging in so long. Honestly, I haven't been making bracelets as frequently in the last couple of years. If you've been following me for a while, you've noticed that. I've been working a full-time job. I just don't have as much time as I did before. And with that, I end up making bracelets that are like relatively easy to make. A wall hanging is obviously not that. Should I make this though? This is gorgeous, and it's a cat. Has anyone made it? Oh, they have. Oh, this is cross-stitch. This is gorgeous. Here, someone made it as a wall hanging. I love it. And there's another one. I'll add it, but I'm not making any promises. If I do a wall hanging, it'll probably be this pattern. But they do take a ridiculous amount of time and effort. Oh, I recognize this cat bracelet. I've made it before. What is this? I wasn't even able to finish my sentence. There's a pattern for the cover of Mistborn: The Final Empire. Oh my god. Of course there is, and I even recognize the person who made the pattern. You are amazing for this. I will not be making that, but this is amazing. This is one of my favorite books ever, by the way. I talk about books sometimes when I film vlogs, so if you're interested in my book opinions or interested in what I'm reading, then my vlogs are the place to go for that. But this is like one of my favorite books of all time. If you're at all interested in fantasy whatsoever, Mistborn: The Final Empire, I think it's fully been renamed to Mistborn now, is a top tier fantasy novel. It is a trilogy, but you can read that one book and finish there if you don't want to continue on. There will be some unanswered questions, but I feel like it gives a satisfying enough ending that you can leave it there if you didn't vibe with it, which I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. Did not expect to talk about books in this video. Oh, this is another one that I made a tutorial for recently. Any tutorials that I'm mentioning or any kind of other videos that I'm mentioning will be linked in the description. I also see some bracelets that I've had in my to-dos for a while. We do have similar tastes. This one I also made a tutorial for. This is the shape bracelet that I was talking about, and I've made those as well. My goodness. These are so cute. Oh, I love it when people post pictures of bracelets. Look how wonderful these turn out. Okay, I'm adding that. That's a big commitment. That's 2 bracelets, but I'm adding that. I am still in the 22 hours ago section. There are so many comments. I am gonna scroll down, see some more recent ones. Sorry, I'm skipping so many people. Let's go here next. We're not really here to talk about photos, but this one caught my eye as I was scrolling past it. It's a QR code. Very curious where this leads. I can probably find out if I click on the pattern. Oh, but I can't click on the pattern in the app. Okay, I'll look it up. But this reminds me of a time. I am a moderator on Bracelet Book, but I haven't actually actively moderated in a few years now. But I remember when I was actually moderating, it was when we were going through this QR code craze and people were uploading so many patterns of QR codes that lead to like random Spotify playlists. Oh, there was a thing with Spotify as well, wasn't there? I remember there was a QR code where it was just a Rickroll basically, but it got so extreme. The website was eventually like flooded with these patterns that we had to come up with a rule that we weren't accepting them anymore. So that just reminded me. There are so many cow bracelets here as well. I also really find it interesting how some people gravitate towards alpha patterns more and some people gravitate towards, really, there's a lot of cow. Apparently this person gravitates towards cows. But yeah, some other people gravitate towards normal patterns. I think this person, we can safely say, makes mostly alphas and mostly cows, but there are some spring ones here. Well, if you guys want me to make a cow bracelet, you know where I should go for recommendations. I've made that pumpkin bracelet. I think I filmed it as a knot with me as well. That one's great. All right, let's go here. I actually do recognize some of these names from my Discord server. Thank you for hanging out with me. It is nice. I do pop in there from time to time. It's nice to talk to you there. And it makes things like this extra fun when I actually recognize some of your names. These are some colorful bracelets. See, this is another example of that. This is a gorgeous pattern. I would love to make it, but my God, is it annoying? There are just so many forward, backward, and backward, forward nuts. And you can kind of tell from the pattern already, like I just knew that it was a 1-2-1-2 pattern when I looked at it because the strings don't move as they normally would move. It's kind of like converting an alpha into a normal pattern. You have to make the strings kind of move in weird ways for it to work. Ooh, I really like this one. This reminds me of a pattern that I've made before. Honestly, a lot of normal patterns are similar because there's only so many ways that you can do them, you know? But that reminds me of a very specific one. Also, I've made this one before. Not to say that if it reminds me of something, I won't make it. I'll make it again. I make the same pattern over and over again. I'll make similar ones. These are some huge patterns you've got. Wow, genuinely. This one is like a cross between the starburst and the sunburst. It's the same kind of vibe. What are the tags? It's a snowflake. It does remind me of a snowflake. I would make this, but it's 36 strings. Has anyone made it? No, I don't think so. Don't think I'm up for the commitment, I'm gonna be honest with you. All right, let's go a little bit more recent again. Oh, that's such a sweet comment. Let's go here. I do find it interesting to read people's bios sometimes because this is Bob thing. Bob has been around for probably longer than some of you have been alive. I remember Bob from way back when. Wow, this is gorgeous. This would be so cool to make. Maybe I should make it. Look at that. Do you know what? I actually might save that. I really like, I don't know, scenic patterns. One of my favorite bracelets I've ever made, which isn't even a bracelet, it was a keyring, is of a little dinosaur and it's just vibing and I just love it. I don't know. It's such an interesting pattern. It's like a scene. So maybe I should make that. That little postmark thing is also very cute. Let's look here. I see a theme. There's a few heart patterns here. You know what? I actually never got into these kinds of patterns, these three that look similar. You would think that they would be my vibe because I really like patterns that have some kind of a squiggle and an outline, but I don't vibe with these kinds of patterns specifically personally. I think they look really cool when other people do them, but I don't vibe with making them. I'll explain. I don't know. I prefer to use these kinds of patterns as a way to utilize my multicolored strings, so I like to make the inside of the outline to be the multicolored string. But since we have gradients on the outside, it's best to keep the middle ones to be black and white. And so I'm not able to use the multicolored string and they have to stick with the gradient, and I just don't find that as fun. I do like it when people make these, especially when they make a bunch of like the same pattern or the same vibe of patterns, and then you see multiple different gradients and it's just gorgeous, but I just don't have the patience for that. But these are beautiful patterns. Love the dresses. And there's book covers. I've also read both of these books. I forgot about this pattern, the one at the top. I made that a while ago and I forgot about it. It's such a nice pattern. Same with this one that's at the top here. I've actually made this pattern before, but I'm gonna save it to my to-dos again because I forgot the pattern number when I was looking through, my collection when I was filming for the multicolored bracelet collection edition, and I need to link it under that video. And also, I was thinking of making another one of those anyway. I'm thinking of maybe using 2 different colored multicolored strings for those. Oh, this person says they're literally watching my videos right now. That's a very cute cat. Let's have a look at their to-dos. Oh, this one is so cute. This is a flower and it isn't even horrible. By that I mean it's not a 1-2-1-2 pattern. This looks really nice. Oh, and it was part of a challenge. Do you know what? I'm saving this. That's one of my patterns. I made that pattern so long ago. And I say made, I took a painting that someone else did, a very famous painter, and I converted it into a bracelet pattern because I was trying to test out the feature. I think it had just come out maybe on Bracelet Book at the time or something where you can like convert an image into a pattern. And so I was testing it out and that's the pattern that I ended up with. When I posted this pattern, I genuinely never expected anyone to ever make it, but they did. More than one person made this pattern and that baffles me, but it is gorgeous. That top one is one that I've made. This top one is one that I've made before. It's like a bit of a trip down memory lane for me. Obviously the starburst is one that I've made before. The dovetail at the top, all of these I have tutorials for. This one looks really cute, but I really don't like it when patterns have backward forward knots or forward backward knots on the edges, but like the other way. So when the string goes into the bracelet and then back out of the bracelet, so it'll be a forward backward knot on the left side and a backward forward knot on the right side. I don't like it when patterns do that. I get it, you need to do that sometimes, but I find that it makes for really bumpy edges occasionally. I'm like, I don't know, let's look at what people have done. This is actually relatively straight. Maybe I'm just being whiny. Do you know what? Yeah, it turned out all right. Maybe I save that pattern and try it as a challenge for myself because I tend to avoid patterns that do that just because I find it more difficult to control the string when it goes in and out. I like to keep my strings continuously pointing into the bracelet, so I prefer to kind of do it the other way. So like a backward forward knot on the left side, a forward backward knot on the right side to keep the strings pointing inward. Maybe I could do it as a challenge. That top one is one that I've made a tutorial for. These two top bracelets are genuinely two of my favorite patterns of all time. I'm going to make a video in which I show you my favorite bracelets of all time, and I promise you these two are going to make it into that list. It's just a bunch of cats. Oh my god. All right, let's do one more person and then we're gonna wrap it up for today. These are some gorgeous heart patterns. Oh, this one is really cute and it's only 10 strings. Honestly, it was what I was talking about, the knots on the edges, it turns me off. I'll do one as a challenge, but I'm not saving more than that. It is really interesting to see people's preferences because this person obviously prefers normal patterns and also normal patterns that maybe are on a bit of a thinner side. A lot of these bracelets are like 8 to 10 strings. I think my ideal range is somewhere like 16 to 20, maybe? Not to say that I won't make anything outside of that range, it's just what I'm most comfortable with, I guess. Oh, this pattern, that's such a throwback. The edges turn me off. But I do love this pattern. I don't want to do it. I feel like it would just really annoy me. I don't know. I like these kinds of patterns a lot. There's something about them. Look how cool that turns out. I'm gonna save this one. Also, these kinds of patterns are also very much a vibe. Like, I love it when the pattern's cut in the middle. I think they turn out really cool, but I do struggle with choosing colors for those kinds of bracelets. I don't know, it might not seem like it to you, but I genuinely struggle with color choice. Oh, this one is gorgeous. All right, I'm saving this one and this is gonna be the last one that I save for today. Well, my to-dos have definitely been upgraded. I'm actually so excited to start some of those bracelets. I was going into this video thinking that I might find bracelets that I would film tutorials for. I don't think I thought about that a single time while I was looking at these patterns. I was just saving patterns that I would really like to make. And I haven't done that in a while, so thank you. That was genuinely inspiring. I love that. Because I haven't really been making bracelets that much, just for fun. Because I have less time to do it, the times that I do it, I end up making it for tutorials or for some kind of video. I haven't actually really sat down and made a bracelet for myself in a while. Maybe I'll challenge myself to do that and not film anything about it, just make a bracelet. I don't remember the last time I did that. But also genuinely, this helps a lot. I'll leave the forum post linked in the description. Obviously, I'm not taking submissions anymore because this video is already filmed, but it is nice to go through other people's to-dos and find bracelets that you think you might like. I struggle a little bit with Bracelet Book at this point. I've been doing this for so long that I feel like I've filtered every which way that I possibly can. I typically filter by the amount of strings in a bracelet, maybe the amount of colors in a bracelet. I end up filtering it by the amount of loves, the amount of hearts the pattern has, or by oldest, or by the amount of pictures the pattern has. That tends to give the most popular results. I then also filter by keyword, like if I want something spring related, I'll put spring in it, etc. But I feel like I've been doing this for so long that genuinely, like, I can scroll and scroll and scroll and I won't find anything new because I've already made all the bracelets that I wanted to from this filtered search. And so going through other people's to-dos is genuinely very inspiring. So thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody who commented. I'm so sorry I wasn't able to go through everyone's, but I do appreciate you taking the time to comment anyway. If you would have liked to participate but you didn't get a chance to, make sure you're following me on Instagram. You can also join my Discord server, which is linked in the description. Those are the two main places that I communicate with you, so whenever I do any kind of interactive things, I would definitely post on Instagram and I would put it on my Discord server. I try to do community posts on YouTube as well, but they're not super reliable. Sometimes they get pushed out like a week after the fact, and you know, if I'm posting this 24 hours notice, you're probably not gonna see that. So make sure to connect with me there to stay updated for any other future videos like this, and then also I just post a lot on there. It'll be fun to connect there too. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and thank you for participating. My book, The Beginner's Guide to Friendship Bracelets, which is a photo tutorial book aimed at beginners but takes you all the way to more advanced stuff, is out now. It's out worldwide, you can buy it anywhere you typically buy books, and there's also a direct link in the description. My publisher can also help you out with international shipping if that's something that you're looking for. You can reach out to them with the link in the description. I also want to give a special shout out to my patrons and especially my top supporters. It is with their support that I'm able to continue to create videos on this channel, and I truly appreciate it. If you also want to become a patron and support the work that I do here, the link to that is in the description as always. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching. I had so much fun filming this video. I haven't filmed a talking video like this in so long, and I genuinely had the best time. If there are any other talking videos that you would like to see from me, then leave a comment. There is also a video suggestion channel on my Discord server into which I pop in every once in a while to get video suggestions. So let me know, because I missed this, honestly. I missed just sitting down and filming a video like this. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!